while. Just going to make sure that the volume is working, because I have done these before where I got about 10 minutes in and then somebody finally commented that they couldn't hear me. And so I just want that to happen again. So just bear with me while I figure this out. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. A little bit of a delay. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. A little bit of a delay. Okay, we're good. My chair is squeaky as hell, so I'm sorry for anybody who's watching. It's going to get annoying a little bit, but yeah, this isn't going to be a super long live, but it's just going to be something that can be out there, just based on what I'm seeing in the market, and it's an extremely dead market right now. Buyers are nervous to buy, or they just can't qualify because the banks are making it so hard. Towards the end of the year, banks, if they've hit their numbers, they're not super lenient on giving approvals. That's from what I've been told. I'm not a mortgage broker, so you can confirm that with your lender and stuff like that. But yeah, they make it a little harder towards the end of the year, especially if they've hit their numbers. But I'm noticing that the listings have gone way up. In October, they were really high, and now they're starting to come down a little bit. But with all the way the market's been, there's just so much uncertainty, and people are nervous in terms of what they want to do. So that's why it's like there's not a whole lot that is selling. So I'm going to do a screen share, and I will kind of show you what the listing numbers are like within the Durham region, but then within the different areas within the Durham region as well. And then we can go through like the maps tour. I'll just show you a little bit of the Durham region for those that are not familiar with it. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to comment them. The live chat should be open. I'm just going to do a test message. All comments are welcome. And yes, that's up there. So if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer those as well. So yeah, we'll do the screen share. And right now, so this is kind of the listing numbers. So this here, I highlighted it. This is when it was at the peak of the market. So anybody who bought in this range here, I would say from January of 2022 to end of March, you're gonna have a hard time selling for what you paid for it for a little while. Anyways, who knows how long? But that was the peak of the market, and then things kind of went downhill from there. Listings started to climb, and then the whole just the market started shifting because rates were going up, and then buyers were kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting, or they just couldn't qualify for as much. And then you're starting to see more and more people selling because they're trying to play the market. So you have a lot of people that, a mix between listing because they want to, try and sell now, and then hopefully things are going to go down more based on their plan, and then they can buy at a lower price, or they're going to rent for a little while. The rental market's kind of been slower a little bit as well. So it's just like the way the market is. It's been really slow. So a lot of the realtors out there, I saw the numbers for October, and of 70 something thousand realtors in Trev, there was only 4,600 deals or something. So there was a large portion of realtors that didn't do any deals last month. And there's even a large portion of realtors that haven't done any deals at all the entire year. So this will be a market that's going to weed out a lot of the realtors that were doing it when it was easy money. Because, for the last few years, just everyone was so desperate to buy that it was quite easy for realtors. There wasn't much negotiation. It was just the highest price kind of won. And it was like that. So it's kind of been balanced a little bit more now, where there's actually you can negotiate. Some people are listing low and they were doing multiple offers, and the results aren't quite the same. But yeah, so we'll just kind of go and show you from January 2022. That's when the lowest amount of listings in all of Durham. There was only 262 listings. And yeah, like places like Oshawa had 58, Winfield, which is an area within Oshawa, had 2. And then Whitby, there was 34 listings. I never tracked Ajax or Pickering at that time. I started doing that towards the end of January. And I just kind of did this for my own knowledge so that I can better understand kind of what's going on with the market, because the amount of listings is a great indicator in terms of how things are going. Because if the listings are high, that means there's options and things aren't going to be selling as quickly. Listings are low, people get desperate, and then those properties that are not as desirable, they sell much easier at higher prices. Properties that are desirable, they get like silly amounts of money thrown at them. So you go to like even June of this summer, there was only like 1,000 listings, but they started like creeping up, and then in October, that was the peak of the amount of listings that there was within Durham, almost 1,800 listings, which is a high number. Not much was selling, and things were sitting on the market, being terminated, relisted at different pricing. People were pricing it lower to try and get multiple offers. Like there was just people were trying everything just to try and get traction, because showings are way down and everything. So the last 2 rate announcements has kind of like stayed flat. So that was kind of like a good indicator in terms of like Bank of Canada hopefully not going to be raising rates. There's even talks of them in 2024. A lot of people are speculating that the rates will start coming down, which if that happens, we could get back into that like heated market. So I would predict, and again, this is just my opinion based on what I see and what I hear, if rates start coming down, the market's going to get crazy again, because there's a lot of listings right now. Things aren't selling, but the rates are high, and they're not high compared to what they were, but they're just like, in general, they're high. We had low rates for so long, and we got spoiled a little bit with that. I know we enjoyed it, but yeah, so now the rates being high, affordability has been hurt a little bit. But the one thing that people should consider is the immigration coming to Canada. And for the next couple of years, we're talking like, I think 1.5 million people is what's going to be coming to Canada. They're going to go to the main metropolitan areas. And if you look at places like Vancouver or I know Calgary, people are moving there, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and they kind of go to those main urban centers. And so they're going to be coming, and they'll rent at first probably, and then they'll buy eventually. And with rates being high, builders aren't building right now. Things aren't selling either, because the interest rates are high. Cost of material, labor, everything has gotten higher. So this is going to hurt us a little bit in the coming years, because the condo units or the house units, they're not selling. They won't be built. So it's just making it a little bit, it's going to be tricky. And so we'll have to really see what's going to happen. So let me kind of change that. I'll open the Toronto real estate system. Okay, so we're here now. So this is like the first number I'll look at every day is kind of like the Durham region numbers. So there's been 60 new listings in all of the Durham region for today only, and there's been 99 updates. So updates would be sold conditional, sold firm. It could be a termination, price change, a listing suspension, all those things. So we will first we'll click on the updates. This gives an indication in terms of what things are selling for. So like this was in rural Clarington. It was a custom bungalow loft. It was listed at 1.45, sold for 1.35. Whitby Shores, this is an area that was insanely busy when things were crazy. And it was listed at 1.15 pretty much. And then it sold in 10 days for $1,090,000. 999 sold for $1,025,000. This was in Ajax. And just to give you an idea, like these homes here, when things were crazy, would have gone into 1.2, 1.3. So it's quite the price discount there. Oshawa, I found, has gotten hit a little bit harder right now too. If you look at some of the Oshawa properties, like this one on Eastdale, it's a bungalow. It's a 3+1. It only has one kitchen, so there's no kitchen in the basement right now. Typically, these did have separate entrances along the side. Yeah, this one here selling. It's a decent looking home, and this here would have gone over $1 million back when things were really crazy. So to see that it's sold for $650,000 for a bungalow in Oshawa, everyone who's sitting on the sidelines now and they're going to wait until things get busy again, it's going to be a little bit of a shame, because people who bought when COVID first happened, by the time they were mid-COVID, they could have sold and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And right now, the last couple of years, it's been that soft market where there's been options. You weren't as desperate to have to just buy anything to get into the market. This one here on Somerville, same thing. The 3+2 already has that. So you're looking at $735,000. And this is just one of those like typical cookie cutter style bungalows that investors really liked, because it was easy to use as 2 units. So you'd have one unit, which is a 3-bedroom on the main floor. And then you would have like a basement apartment you could put in. And the rents on them for an upper unit like this could be in and around like the mid 2000s per month. If it's really, really nice and upgraded, maybe you can push like high 2000s, 2800, stuff like that. Basement, maybe if it's nice and it's 2 bedrooms, 1400, in and around those range. So you'll be able to collect good rents. So this one sold 735,000. These bungalows were selling for like the low millions, which is crazy. So it's like quite a big discount from what it was. And these are the ones that would have like 25 offers on them, because you had investors trying to buy them, you had first-time home buyers trying to buy them, and you have a whole whack of offers at the 999,000, because they were going CMHC approved, so they couldn't go over $1 million, because then they would need to put 20% down. So these were just like super attractive for a lot of people. So if you sold a bungalow in and around that highlighted area I kind of showed you, you did really well on that. So that's kind of like what I would look at to help gauge how things are looking right now. And then you just kind of take a look at the listings for the day to see how things are. And I would just put them in order by price. So that's why it's like if I have clients looking in the range of like $1 million, 1.1, or 800,000, I kind of get first tip at it. And this is where I would be sending it to them when I see it. This is the investor, the builder selling brand new, net of HST. So yeah, this is the developer. So this might have been somebody who couldn't close on the property, because anybody who bought over the last couple of years that were closing on it, if you were dependent on selling a property and you needed to get top dollar for it, you might have run into a little bit of an issue where you wouldn't be able to close. And that happened in 2017 and happened again now. Some of the prices I'm seeing on condos or pre-construction homes, stuff like that, people are just walking away because they can't assign them, because people aren't willing to pay that price. And they have like $200,000 down, and they're just walking away from it. And that's just really sad from the whole pre-construction standpoint, because when people are buying pre-construction, typically it's for an investment. So they want it to like make them money, not cost them money. So that's just my little 2 cents on that. And then I can go through the Treb map. So it shows you all the different neighborhoods. And take a break from my face so you don't have to look at me. So I'll just have it where people were just going in there to live. And so it was like homeowners, but they were like the homeowners that came from outside of Oshawa, not realizing that it was a bad area. So it just kind of like indirectly improved the Lakeview area. There are still some not so great pockets there, but for the most part, you can't go wrong with this part of Lakeview now, especially closer to the water, Valley Drive. There's a huge development going in here, which is going to have condo apartments, something to keep an eye out for too, because I do think it's going to be a good option down the road, because being close to the lake could be really good, especially if you have waterfront, like a view of Lake Ontario. Down the road, it's going to be great rental potential, or just living. Stevenson, very well, don't have a lot of homes. Same thing. Vanier is good. Oshawa Center. So if you're looking to move to the Vanier area, you're really reliant on transit. It could be a good option for you there. Central, it's just an area you got to be careful with. It has my least favorite area of all of Oshawa within Central area, that whole area in Simcoe. I like it. Had a rental property there before, and it just attracted nothing but like I had a few tenants there, but for the most part, not very good tenants. And part down close to the 400, south of 40, so south of Olive, to like down here. I don't like it at all. You'll see a lot of like the home has increased here as well. So it's just it's not the nicest thing to see. And then yeah, if you're looking to buy, if you're further away past Ritson, closer to Ritson, then you'll be okay. But yeah, like anywhere close to Simcoe, just tread with caution there. Hopefully you have someone that just knows the area, because with your biggest purchase, you don't want to make a mistake on that. Areas like Donovan, east areas is just a little bit further from stuff. So if you're transit road, like the card, if you drive, you're just driving a little bit further to go to places for shopping, stuff like that. Pinecrest, Centennial, North Glen, those are all good areas. It has a lot of like bungalows, side splits, older single car garage type homes built in like the 70s. North Glen, just be careful. You have the Oshawa airport, so you will notice that there's a lot of planes and stuff there. I live in Whitby, and I can hear the planes there, so it's like probably the same, but it's neat to see because there's a lot of like little Cessna planes, stuff like that. Northwood, that's a good area as well. Sumac, that was the first area I ever lived in when I moved to Oshawa. I lived on the street right here. It's called Orlando. So I lived on that street. We lived there for 2 years, and then we moved kind of Glock area. We lived there from 2013 to 2017. So my daughter, she was brought home into that house there. So yeah, that's the Oshawa area kind of explained. And then you move into Whitby. I'm in the Rolling Acres area of Whitby now. Mint. So we're happy with the area. Schools, we got lucky. Pringle Creek is good. They have a lot of the double car garage, 2-story homes, 4 bedrooms that are in and around 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. Williamsburg, more on the newer side and pricier. It's been one of the top areas within Whitby for a little while now. And then you have Lynn Creek, which is has older homes built in the 80s, 90s, big lots, great views, big mature trees, looks good. Then you have Port Whitby, which would be like the Whitby Shores area. They typically do not have a lot of inventory that hits there. People move there and they don't typically leave right away. So it's a mix between new families moving in, but then you also have the retirees that are kind of moving out, and they're going into places like Lemont Creek in Newcastle, because it's like an adult style complex with people having their own homes type of thing. And then you have Taunton, good new homes close to shopping, everything like that, super convenient. Brooklyn is a very nice, good area. The only downfall from that is you are quite far from one or the GO station. So if you are reliant on those two things, you could have 15-20 minute drive just to get to kind of the 401 area or the GO train. And then Ajax, you have northeast Ajax towards the top, good areas, safe. A lot of people have moved from Scarborough to the northeast Ajax. It's newer. Then Central West has one of my favorite areas close to the Pickering Village area. Central, you just got to be a little careful when you're treading through that area. My grandfather lived in that area, and so it was like good where he lived, but there are certain pockets around Harwood Bailey, that kind of thing, that not the greatest. And then Central East, same thing. You're kind of good for the most part there because it's more on the newer side. Southwest is a really good area along with Southeast. It's close to the water, which is good, not too far from the GO train also. So you're convenient to those things. It's safe, tons of families, good schools, that kind of thing. And then you have Pickering Town Center area, where's the GO station along with Pickering Town Center. So it's kind of convenient. That's where they're going to be doing a lot of the developmental stuff there. And then you have Rosebank, West Shore. Bay Ridges is kind of good as well, but that's more of the custom style homes. A lot of people have built in them there. High Bush, Amberley are just like really mature areas. A lot of new builds going in there because people are buying old lots, tearing that house down and building big homes. And then you have Brock Ridge, which is good because you're close to just a lot of green space, that kind of stuff, right on the Ajax border. Duffin Heights is more on the newer side also. So you do have a lot of new stuff kind of being built there. Yeah. Got my first comment. Thank you, Andrew. And you're live. Let's respond. Okay, so just going through this, Andrew, for everyone who's been to move to the Durham region, they might be areas, and that's why I was just going through numbers and just to show what it's like, along with just the different areas. And then, yes, that's kind of like covers off the areas within Clarington. I felt Bowmanville got really busy back. Things were crazy because people couldn't get into the Oshawa market. Curtis got a little heated, and then same thing with Bowmanville. Yeah, it was heated also. And then people were even going as far as Newcastle, but now that was a little bit harder on the whole commuting part because it's not as commutable because you are probably like half an hour to Oshawa, and then depending on where you're going, people in Newcastle, they're working like the OPG type area where they're going in and around to Port Darlington, that kind of thing. So it's kind of the map area. I'll show you guys a property that I think of potential. For this area here, the Country Lane area, I'm familiar with it. I've been in there. The homes are good. It's a nice area. It's all new, so you can't go too wrong with that. North Whitby is like where all the shopping is, stuff like that. Depending those 5 builders that kind of got put in there, who was developing like that. The areas are just, they're new, and so it's like the schools, everything got to go in still too. So those will be put in soon because the area has been developed a little bit. But I think the area is good and the homes are good. If it's pre-construction though, the only problem right now is those prices are still really high. So when you compare what the price they're selling for to what you could buy on the resale front, it's going to be quite different. So that's just the only thing I can kind of comment on that. So yeah, let me pull up the property in Curtis. And what's nice is it's been legalized with a basement apartment. So you have the unit in the basement, but then it also has potential. It's this one here on Cherry Blossom. So yeah, it's a 3-bedroom upstairs. It has 3 bedrooms in the basement, and then they have drawings for a garden suite in the back as well. So if that's done, you have 3 potential units. The upper was going for around 3,000. The basement was going for around the 2,500, I believe. And then the potential in the back garden suite, if it was built, it was as a 3-bedroom, could catch like between 2,800 to 3,000. So you're collecting pretty much like almost $8,000 for the rental on this, with a purchase price of the 999,000. So that's kind of like, just, I thought that had good potential. No idea what I clicked there. Yes, I kind of went through the area, so hopefully that was useful. My name is Goetz, so I am a realtor here. So if you are looking to move to the Durham region, feel free to reach out. You can call, text, email, send a carrier pigeon, whatever is easiest, and I'd be more than happy to just help with the whole move and relocation. And I've helped so many people, and I'm so grateful for that. So thanks for everyone who's reached out. I think that it's a great opportunity right now, and I'm not going to guarantee, I strongly feel, and it's just my prediction, so I could be wrong, I don't have a crystal ball, but based on what I've been hearing in the industry, what I've been hearing about interest rates, and what I'm seeing with inventory, I feel like November, December, January, February will be the 4 months that as a buyer, you'll have like an option. And then I feel things are going to start to get heated after that. And then we potentially could go back to that crazy market. And that's where you're going to see a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines all come into the market at the same time. So right now, I don't feel price points are going to drop lower than what they are right now. They're just going to kind of go up. Things are going to pick up next year. And just people that aren't going to be buying now, they're going to regret it. And I saw it happen when COVID first happened. It was just like dead. Nobody was buying nothing. And then all of a sudden it started getting hot. And I had somebody that they got a Southeast Ajax property under conditional offer for like $570,000. It was a 3-bedroom, single car garage, detached or link home or whatever. And yes, like they got it, and then they ended up walking away because of a home inspection that just didn't. There was a crack in the foundation close to the furnace, and they were worried a little bit, and so they ended up getting out of that deal. And I showed them a few properties over the next couple of years, wrote some offers. We didn't have any luck, and I wasn't pushy, and so I guess they found a realtor that was on the pushier side, and they ended up buying in that highlighted area that I showed you, and people who bought in that area at that time just like didn't do too well, and so they used another realtor. They pay like $890,000 for a semi-detached in Oshawa that needs like complete gut job. That's how much work needed to get done, but it was just like, that's how crazy the market was. So it's just one of those things that you have opportunities and windows, and it could be good. If you were looking at flipping, I wouldn't do that because it's risky. But if you're looking to live, you can just wait it out. So if the market for whatever reason does go down, you can wait it out before you have to sell. But if you hold off, what you can buy now is going to be different than what you could buy maybe in like 6 months. And worst case scenario, and what happened in 2022 is just people got priced out of the market. 2021, people got priced out of the market. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the market, the areas, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully you liked the video, the live. Hopefully it was I provided information for you. Andrew, thanks for commenting and asking me the question on Country Lane. Gave me something to talk about for a little while. So I'm gonna log off here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos. The next video is going to be the what's it going to be? I guess you have to wait until Friday to find out. Thanks for watching.